When they told you that you were going to do Back to the Future and that you were going to replace Eric, what did you feel? What happened?
Well, the first feeling that I had was get out of town, you know? And then Gary Goldberg told me, actually, and he gave me the script. He said, go home and read it. And I went home and read it. I called Gary up at about 11:30. I think I woke his daughter up and had her wake him up and said, call Steven, don't let him change his mind. And then I talked to Bob Zemeckis and all these people, and I was, they talked to me a little bit about, you know, why, that there were creative differences and whatnot, and their compassion and their feeling for what Eric was going to think and how Eric was going to feel impressed me. But there was so little time to really think a lot about, you know, getting nervous about replacing another actor, maybe what he did and what I shouldn't do, and there was very little time to think about, oh no, it's a Steven Spielberg film and I'm either going to be a big star or I'm going to flop in his first, you know, flop or whatever. There was no time for that. It was just like, I got to be there Tuesday, you know, and boom, I was there and doing it, and then it was just staying awake. So everything happened so quick that there was really very little time to analyze anything or really get caught up in it. It was just, well, I said I was going to do it, I better do it.
Do you purposely find films that have all of these bizarre, unusual situations in it?
Well, I have been lucky. I have interesting stories, and I have tried to avoid, you know, the prom and, you know, will I lose my virginity this week? Those kind of storylines really kind of annoy me. So I've really tried hard to find different characters and interesting scripts.
In order to play the parts in something like Space Camp or Howard the Duck or even Back to the Future, it seems to me you have to have a terrific imagination to believe in these out-of-this-world situations. Do you?
I think I really do have a big imagination. Ever since I was a little kid, you know. And my mom used to make up stories every night for us. And she really filled our heads with a lot of interesting things. And I used to paint when I was real young. And also being a ballet dancer when I was younger was really great because you have to imagine everything when you're a ballet dancer. I mean, everything is in your head, you know. It's acting without words and imagining everything in your own head.
Obviously, Back to the Future was such an enormous success that clearly the next movie that came out, people were going to compare. Now they're going to have two other roles at once to compare. Mm-hmm. So do the comparison for me between those three characters. The Back to the Future, Space Camp, and Howard the Duck, and what you did to yourself.
Well, it was really neat to play those three, like, very close together. I had hardly any time off between those three movies. And so, of course, there was a great challenge in Back to the Future because I was, you know, the old lady, you know, the really drunk and unhappy person that was the mother. And then I got to be the young, kind of ditzy, ebullient, kind of 50s girl, and that was a real nice challenge. But then I got really tired of going, you know. So when I got Space Camp, it was great because I got to be very serious and centered and grounded and, you know, no giggling, no cuteness, you know, just straight. And after that, I was really sick of that. And in Howard, I'm a rock and roll singer, and I'm wild, you know, all this hair and makeup, and it's such a fantasy, and it's very physical. I use all my dancing. I'm always making big gestures and stuff, and it's high comedy, so kind of anything goes, which was really fun to do.
What most of the Amblin movies, and also it's a great pairing because Bob Zemeckis is the same way. They like to make entertainment movies, you know, and people right now have I mean, this whole cinema verite thing, I think, is kind of worn on them. If you want real life, you can walk out on the street and get hit by a car, and that's real. Or you could, you know, drive to East LA, and unfortunately, that's real, and all those kind of things. So what they want to make movies about magical things. So you feel it when you're working, yeah. It's a little part of you, when we're doing some scenes, that I go, I wish I could do this, you know? I wish I could, like, you know, these things that happen to me, and in a way that they are, you know, because I'm doing the movie. So, yeah, that's the fun part about this movie. It's just, you really feel like there's something magical going on.
What about the future? What are you looking for in the near future? What are you looking to do?
A holiday would be nice, like a week or so. I could just sit on the beach. Well, I'm looking forward to Family Ties doing well, and I hope that if Back to the Future does real well, that that'll open up an opportunity for me to do another film on my next hiatus. But things are just so good that right now, and so much fun, that I don't want to waste any of this time worrying about tomorrow, worrying about specific things in tomorrow, like, you know, what am I going to do, you know, da-da-da. I just want to kind of enjoy this now, and as long as it goes on, I'll keep enjoying it. But I don't want to look back on it 10 years from now and say, I could have really had a good time during those days if I wasn't so busy worrying about what was going to happen next, you know. So I'm just having a good time and working real hard, hopefully.